CTV News with Sarah Freemark.
Pretty slick. The roads are slippery, and it doesn't matter where you are, the roads are bad.
That seems to be the message right across the board. Expect messy roads and low visibility. Good evening. After a day of spring-like weather, wasn't it nice? Winter walls once again line our streets tonight. In just over a month, city crews have cleared snowbanks from 154 kilometers of roadways in Barrie and aren't slowing down anytime soon. Let's head outside to CTV's Rob Cooper. He joins us live tonight with more on the storm. Rob.
Well, Sarah, it had been snowing hard most of the day, just letting up like this in the last little while. We're talking huge accumulations of snow right across Simcoe County and Muskoka. Right now, people picking up after a couple of days of spring-like weather. City mechanics got an early start to the day knowing what was coming.
Yeah, just making sure everything's roadworthy. The drivers aren't going to have any complications while they're out on the road.
After a couple of spring-like days, winter was back with a vengeance by late morning. Heavy snow blanketing the region again, making simple travel a real challenge.
Pretty slick. The roads are slippery, and it doesn't matter where you are, the roads are bad.
And so was visibility in many spots. Once again, the decision was made early to pull all school buses off the roads for the day. School buses parked right across Simcoe County and Muskoka. For city crews, it was a day to get right back to work, clearing as much snow as they could.
We'll be using salt now because the temperatures are a little bit warmer. If we get freezing rain, then we're going to have to switch to sand.
Snow covering most of the region from Stayner to Collingwood. Snow clearing crews just too busy to stop. Their phones ringing off the hook all day.
Attack every site like it's, just attack everything and move forward best you can.
Yeah, the snow is coming. You can see it's just bumping in my eyes and eyelashes. It's bad.
You can't see the lights. You can't see green light, red light. Right as you get there, you got to be quick when you react. You got to go up slow.
Try and get your cars off the street. As you know, the streets are very narrow right now. Crews are out trying to, widen them up, get things cleared up. But with parked cars in there, some of the streets it's just impossible to get up and down.
All right, back live at Yonge and Big Bay Point in Barrie's South End. Now, keep in mind the roads are not only snow-covered, Sarah, but obviously slippery as well. And if our viewers are planning on heading out tonight, you might want to check in with where you're going to make sure it's still open, as some communities have made the decision to close some of its buildings because of the road conditions. Reporting live in Barrie, I'm Rob Cooper. Let's go back to you in the newsroom.
Okay, thanks for that, Rob. Now, a reminder that Barrie's winter parking rules, they are in effect. So this means no overnight street parking is permitted until the end of March. In most areas, cars must be off the road from midnight to 7 in the morning. Downtown, the restriction runs from 3 to 6 in the morning for snow clearing. But the city also warns that winter maintenance can override these hours, meaning no parking during plowing or salting, even outside the normal window. Now going to a live look along Highway 400 by SRO, just a few minutes past 6. Traffic is moving, but drivers are dealing with the aftermath of that freezing rain. There's snow squalls and high winds right across the region that was seen. Now, we can't see it here, but Highway 11 has reopened. It was closed until not long ago near Huntsville. Now, officials warn that road conditions are still slippery and urging caution for anyone heading out tonight. If you're looking for a list of closures, that can be found on the CTV Barrie website. All right, Case, let's get right into this. You're certainly dressed for the weather. How does it feel?
You need a warm hat out here, Sarah. A warm hat, and it's funny because this hat kind of serves as a bit of an anemometer. You can see which direction the wind is going in, and certainly catches a few flakes, too. Let's talk about what kind of a day it was. A flaky day, a freezing rain day. Yeah, all of the above, and some ice pellets too, and yeah, there you go. Right across our region, we've been looking at weather alerts for the better part of the day, and for the most part, it's been snow-oriented. We've had some freezing rain, we've had some ice pellets, snowfall warning. Yes, we did have a generous amount of snow, pretty much our entire region, with the exception of parts of Muskoka and Parry Sound and a little bit out in Bruce County. So the rest of it, as we move things along, yeah, it has certainly been a slow-moving day if you've been out on in traffic or even on the sidewalks for that matter. First look at the forecast brought to you by Presler Injury Law. Call 1-800-JUSTICE. -5, and the wind's picking up out of the east. 28 kilometers an hour, gusts as high as about 50. Take a look at the temperature outside your door. And yeah, it's not that cold really on the thermometer anyway. -5 is still -5, but when you factor in the wind chill, at this point it's no big deal. -1 is where we're sitting in Owen Sound, 0 in Parry Sound, -2 in Toronto, -5 in Newmarket, -1 out Mount Forest Way. Let's have a quick look at the radar satellite images, and as you see, it is leaving us. The system is leaving us. I said it came from part of Montana yesterday, and as we back up, we can see there is a little something coming in. Yes, and we're watching that very closely. We're seeing how that develops and how it tracks across Lake Michigan and then Lake Superior and parts of Lake Huron as it rolls towards us. A lot can happen between now and, say, the next 48 hours as far as our conditions go. And coming up, Sarah, in just a few minutes' time, yes, we've had a day to remember as far as winter goes. The last few days before that, almost spring-like, and coming up in a few minutes' time, the temperature again above the freezing mark tomorrow. I'm not going to say too much. There might even be a little bit of sunshine. I'll let you know who gets it. All that in a few minutes' time. Back inside, Sarah.
Lots to look forward to. Thanks very much, Case. Now, that winter storm triggering problems for air travelers. At this hour, there are delays at Pearson Airport, and the Greater Toronto Airport Authority says de-icing measures are being taken into account to make sure that planes can fly and land safely. We spoke with some passengers who are hoping their flights aren't delayed, including an athlete heading to Milan to cheer on our country's bobsledding team.
Me, I'm off to Milan, so...
Yeah, you've got a pretty important destination to get to, eh?
100%. We got to represent Canada. We got to go cheer for our guys and girls, and we just got to go strong out there.
Yeah, no, I'm just probably going home to get to the same weather at home, yeah. Just hopefully I make it home.
Well, that's my question. Any flight delays or anything right now?
So far, everything's good, yeah. We're praying we're going to make it. Spend some time in the lounge, and hopefully we get out of here.
Now, about 20% of flights in and out of the airport have been cancelled in the last 24 hours. Passengers are still being urged to check their flight status before heading to the airport. A wrong-way driver was stopped just in time before getting on Highway 400 in Barrie. Police say an officer spotted the vehicle heading up a southbound on-ramp in the wrong direction near Bayfield Street on Tuesday night, pulled the person over before they reached the highway. A 25-year-old Bradford man is now facing charges, including impaired and several other offences. An investigation into an armed break-in continues as Barrie police search for 3 suspects. According to officers, 3 men forced their way into a home on Woodfern Court in the city's southwest end on February 13th, carrying handguns and a hammer or hatchet. No injuries were reported and nothing was stolen, but residents in the area are still being asked to report any information they might remember. A Midland woman charged with murder following the death of her ex-boyfriend has pleaded guilty to a lesser charge ahead of trial. CTV's Mike Arcelides reports on the case against Mackenzie Herod and her co-accused Brian Lancaster.
20-year-old Mackenzie Herod has taken a plea deal ahead of trial, admitting to being an accessory after the fact to murder for her role following the death of her former boyfriend, 25-year-old Kyle Farrows, at his Aurelia apartment more than 2 years ago. Initially also charged with second-degree murder, Herod was granted bail 4 months later and has been under strict conditions that included wearing a GPS ankle monitor. As part of an agreed statement of facts read by the Crown in Barrie, the court heard Herod helped her boyfriend, now 38-year-old Brian Lancaster, escape following an argument between Lancaster and Farrows. Herod admitted she and Lancaster were at Farrows that night because they didn't have anywhere to stay. Herod said Farrows held a knife to her throat that night and held her down on his bed. She feared she was going to be raped. Lancaster awoke and went after Farrows, who was found dead in his bed with stab wounds to his neck and chest. Herod admitted in court to hitting Farrows in the head with a bong and may have knocked him out, while Farrows and Lancaster were fighting on the bed. Herod, who was from Midland, was charged alongside Lancaster with killing Farrows on December 14, 2023. They were arrested by the OPP a few days later. Herod said she was high on crack and marijuana that night. She admitted to lying to police and covering for Lancaster when she told detectives she cleaned blood from the knife and washed blood from the doorway of Farrow's bedroom before throwing away a different knife in the bush. Herod admitted to encouraging Lancaster not to turn themselves in before throwing her phone in a creek. Lancaster remains behind bars in Penetanguishene and has a lengthy criminal record, which includes convictions for arson and assault. He was handed a 5-year sentence and granted day parole in 2019, followed by full parole in 2021, according to the Parole Board of Canada. Herod's sentencing hearing is scheduled to take place in April. The allegations against Brian Lancaster have not been tested in court. Mike Arsleedy, CTV News, Barrie.
Well, on a day like today, it's not hard to daydream about patio season, which is just a few months away now. But what about finding parking? The town of Collingwood is talking about removing patios to create more parking in the historic downtown. CTV's Luke Samard reports.
Mover and a seconder, all those in favor? And those opposed? And that carries. Thank you.
Conflicting opinions on how the town of Collingwood should fix its lack of parking in historic downtown. In chambers today, a motion put to council that considered eliminating patios along sidewalks, something Councillor Chris Potts brought forward. Patios on sidewalks have been in place since the COVID-19 pandemic to allow restaurants additional space. Councillor Potts says there was some confusion in the interpretation of the motion and how many businesses would be impacted.
I don't want anybody to think here that there's any discussion of getting rid of patios. It's just removing them off the street area and back onto the curb where the initial design was back in 2010.
The elimination of patios on the sidewalk will make room for 14 additional parking spots, affecting 6 businesses.
We have a very vital downtown, lots of different offerings, and all of them need parking and need be able to draw people to their business.
Other businesses will be able to pivot and have patios that don't interfere with the sidewalk. Mayor Yvonne Hamlin telling CTV News that a parking study has been commissioned in the downtown area, with results coming back to council in the coming months.
People like to sit outside in the summer, and when they're finished their dinner, well, maybe they're going to shop in one of the shops. And I have found the patios traditionally have been a great boost to economic development.
Restaurants along Hurontario Street telling CTV News how essential patios are to their business.
It's part of our business model. It's part of, we work this into the community, the economy. It's what we hire staff to. It's a huge part of our business model because summer is prime time for people to want to enjoy patios.
Restaurant owners saying there does need to be a solution for parking.
What makes a downtown core attractive to tourists and to locals and creates a dynamic energy is probably not the solution. Perhaps something like a parking structure on what is currently just a flat parking lot.
Well, despite the snow, businesses that I spoke with cannot wait for the weather to warm up and welcome visitors in for the busy summer season. Luke Samard, CTV News, Collingwood.
After a second shutdown at the Stroud-Innisfil Community Centre, the library branch was back to serving patrons today, and we were some of the first through the doors. CTV's Jack Morris joins us live tonight. Jack, do we now have a better idea anyway, of the damage?
Well, yeah, Sarah. According to library staff, most of the damage was to the books themselves. And the number of damaged books compared to the entire size of the collection of all the books they have was minimal. That according to library staff. They say that big ticket items like furniture, electronics, those kind of things were mostly spared when the pipe burst. Water came pouring in here February 8th through the ceiling above the children's area and on the other side of the wall where they keep the holds and new releases. The library was closed until this morning while crews made repairs and library staff cleaned up the mess.
We had to remove a lot of our books from our shelves and relocate them to another place and just recess to make sure that there was no water damage through them. So it was a lot of moving our collections to different parts of our branch and just making sure that we have everything dried out and then quickly being able to put everything together so we can reopen.
It's the second time the library has been shut down this year. In January, staff found a wall between the lobby and ice at the Stroud Arena needed serious structural repairs. Most of the facility remains closed, but the library was allowed to reopen shortly after. Last week, council approved $1 million for emergency repairs to the 50-year-old building, but it isn't clear if that's the end of it. Innisfil's operations director telling council the price tag will go up if they find more issues during that work. Now, the town's mayor has asked staff to put in an application to nominate themselves to be part of Craft Hockeyville. That's a contest where a community can win up to $250,000 to fix their old rink. That being said, without knowing the entire financial cost, it might just be a drop in the bucket. Sarah.
All right, thanks very much for that, Jack. Muslims around the world are marking the start of Ramadan, a sacred month of fasting and spiritual reflection. From dawn until sunset, many will fast each day, abstaining from food and drink during daylight hours. Ramadan is a time for prayer, self-discipline, and deeper connection with faith and community.
The Ahmadi Muslim community, as every year, will be observing the month of Ramadan as well, and more than 2 billion Muslims around the world will be observing this holiest month in the Islamic calendar. So we will start just after sunset, and we will come down and offer the prayers, get ready for the month of Ramadan, and every day we will continue to do this, and every day, every weekend, we will come down here at the Maryam Mosque, celebrate and break iftar and study the Holy Quran.
For many Canadian Muslims, it's been more than 20 years since Ramadan fell deep in the winter months, meaning a whole generation is now experiencing shorter days and longer nights of fasting for the first time as adults. Meanwhile, Pope Leo has presided over his first Ash Wednesday Mass since becoming pontiff. He walked with dozens of monks, priests, bishops, and cardinals between Roman churches, marking the start of a 7-week season of fasting and repentance leading to Easter. Now to Italy, where it was a nail-biter in men's hockey. There were certainly some raised voices here in the newsroom. More Canadians, though, took to the podium in Milano Cortina today. Here's CTV's Scott Hurst with our Olympic roundup.
Canadian passion was on full display following the men's hockey game in Milan.
Incredible. It was a lot of fun to be a part of.
But it was unfamiliar territory early on for Canada in its quarterfinal matchup against Czechia. After an early goal by 19-year-old Macklin Celebrini, Czechia responded with 2 goals of its own, putting Canada behind for the first time all tournament.
Classic Canadian hockey. We don't wake up the first 20 minutes of the game.
In the second period, more concern for Canada as captain Sidney Crosby left the game with an injury and did not return. But Canada was able to tie it up. Nathan McKinnon scored off a pass from Connor McDavid.
It was stressful, but we never gave up. We believed.
And that belief paid off. In the third, the teams traded goals to send this quarterfinal matchup to a 3-on-3 overtime. And it was former Toronto Maple Leaf Mitch Marner who scored the game-winning goal for Canada.
It was electric. It was just so good to be part of this community and see all the Canadian passion.
In other Olympic action, more podiums for Canadian athletes, including a gold in the men's 500-meter short track final. Stephen Dubois is now the Olympic champion. Also, Canada won a bronze medal in the women's 3,000-meter relay. The team of Dana Iblé, Kim Boutin, Florence Brunel, and Courtney Sereau. For Sereau, the 25-year-old from Moncton, New Brunswick, this is her 4th Olympic medal at these games. The spotlight returns to hockey tomorrow with the highly anticipated women's final, Canada versus the United States. The Canadians lost to the Americans earlier in the tournament, but Team Canada is the defending Olympic champion. Scott Hurst, CTV News, Toronto.
Now let's talk more about Team Canada's men's hockey team because their Olympic journey almost ended today. That after being expected to simply glide into the gold medal matchup. CTV's Rahim Ladani has more on today's game that had fans on the edge of their seats.
Excitement, relief, and everything in between.
I'm in disbelief. I have shivers. It was insane. I can't believe it.
Team Canada's men's hockey team is moving on to the semifinals after a nail-biter that saw Canada fall behind to Czechia in the third period.
Canada by far has the most skill, the most talent, the most speed, the most of everything, except for right now, potentially not the best strategy, because right now it almost bit them on their butt. They almost got in trouble.
Inside the Dog and Bear pub in Queen West, fans are speaking directly to the game-winning goal scorer.
On behalf of Toronto, Mitch Marner, all is forgiven. That was beautiful.
The former Toronto Maple Leaf delivered the heroics, scoring in overtime to lift Canada over the Czechs. The moment even prompting his former team to tweet a Canadian flag and magician's wand for some Marner magic. But that's already creating backlash amongst fans, who are calling out the organization for trading him, while others haven't forgotten Marner's playoff track record with the blue and white.
The worst guy you know made a great goal. Right.
At the Ford Performance Center, Gino watched the thrilling game from start to finish.
My heart was in my chest, and now we breathe easy, and gold medal still in sight. Only gold for Canada.
However, Team Canada isn't skating away unscathed. Captain Sidney Crosby suffered an apparent injury and left the ice midway through the second period. As Canada now prepares for their semi-final match on Friday, some feel this cliff-hanging game will actually help the team moving forward.
You see the teams that have a more difficult route to the final, they tend to win these types of games and these types of trophies, and it's more memorable.
Now Canada will need at least one more win to guarantee themselves a medal at these Olympic Games. Raheem Ladani, CTV News, Toronto.
What an exciting day for Team Canada and us fans. Let's take a look at the current medal standings. Norway remains in first place with 33 medals, followed by Italy, 26, and the United States close behind with 24. Canada, we're sitting in 11th place with 14 medals in total. Now, tomorrow, you can join the city of Barrie for a gold medal game watch party as Team Canada's women hockey team. They take on the USA. It'll be screened in the Rotunda at City Hall from 1 till 4:30 p.m. If you're going, be sure to wear your red and white and be ready to cheer loud. I've got my red on. Go Team Canada. Still to come, the skill and dedication of the Canadian Ski Patrol, how the talented team of tremendous athletes keep the slopes safe. Plus, a local robotics team known on the world stage is set to show off some new technology, all while helping the younger generation. You're watching CTV News Barrie. Thanks for staying with us. Winter weather, it surely is keeping up, but that does mean that the slopes are busy, and so is the Canadian Ski Patrol, keeping skiers and snowboarders safe at most of our local resorts.
Well, we're a volunteer organisation that has just around 4,000 patrollers across the country, servicing over 200 resorts. And we provide on-snow rescue services, first aid services, and general help to the skiing and snowboarding public through the year or through the season.
Our level of responsibility is very high. We're a professional organization. We're here to make sure that we can help the public on their worst days. And on top of that, we are here for hill safety. It might be as minor as they need help getting down the hill, their ski fell off, to someone's had their worst day with an injury.
All of our members are volunteers. We love skiing so much, we just wanted to find a way to pay it back, and volunteering was a choice. I've been a patroller for 10 years, and I absolutely love it. It provides that sense of safety and security for those folks that are engaged with snow sports, knowing that we're there to help them and possibly turn what could be one of their worst days and make it just a little bit better.
Patrollers donate countless hours to training and certification so they can provide professional level care at 95% of Central Ontario's ski areas. From attending the world's largest tech trade show to helping a one-legged chicken walk again, this award-winning local robotics team is ready for another groundbreaking year. The Banting High Memorial School team has a busy schedule ahead, featuring some innovative tools and unique challenges, including bringing robotics into local elementary schools to get other students started early.
We got the funding for all the schools, we got them the Legos, we ordered all the parts, we set up a competition for them, and now we are also building the same robots they are, so that when we go into the competition day, we have the Did You Beat Banting High School's team.
I joined the team in grade 10 and it changed my life. He inspired me to join robotics and I met so many new people, and then through that I was able to go to Germany. So the Hanover Messe, we were invited to go. Incredible opportunity to beat multiple different businesses on a global scale.
We need people who are in business, who know how to code, who know how to build, who maybe even people who know how to work with machinery, and being able for all those people to come together and spread skills between each other and learn in advance, and that just helps us for the future.
And that's not all. The team's famous hockey goalie, there it is, Golia, has a new face that lit up the holiday parade in Alliston, and they promise more new reveals will be found at the Potato Festival this year. A local husband and wife team have written and illustrated a children's book that has climbed to #1 on Amazon's bestseller list. Creators Ryan and Cheryl Clark say the success comes as no surprise because when your story is about Meaford, how could it not be a hit?
Family, home, it just feels right.
Ryan grew up in the area and wanted to share the magic of a little town called Meaford with his family and now with readers everywhere. The book celebrates the town's picturesque beauty and timeless sense of adventure, including Ryan's family connection to downtown Meaford's famous Big Apple.
I would say it's more of a celebration of the town, and hopefully it's, you know, a wide-ranging view of the town. It's, yeah, it just touches on a little bit of it that's kind of makes it special.
And we thought, well, wouldn't it be really neat to write a book to just say thank you to Meaford? So we've kind of said this is our love letter to the town.
A little town called Meaford has already sold more than 10,000 copies and is available online and locally. Shrove Tuesday was a busy one. The Barrie Foresters Scouts and Trinity Anglican Church, they teamed up to serve up some stacks.
Put them over to the floor.
And while the community enjoyed a warm meal, the Scouts were busy learning important lessons of their own, from teamwork and leadership to the value of giving back.
It's a lot of fun. It's really fun watching the beavers, who are quite often quite shy to be out and amongst the group, to grow through the night. And then you see them the second year and they're more excited to do it. And, you know, giving the cubs a leadership capability of helping with serving and clearing tables, it's great.
The event wasn't just about marking the season, it's also a fundraiser. All the money raised goes towards new scouting gear and upcoming camping adventures. I was first a spark and then a brownie growing up. There are always plenty of events happening around our region. Let's look towards the weekend, shall we? For more, let's go to Bounce 104 Morning Show host Martin Van Coy. Here are your weekend event listings.
Hi, I'm Steph Seidel with Bounce Radio, and these are your weekend event listings for Pure Country 106 and Bounce 104.1. Kicking things off, the Ontario SPCA Midland and District Animal Centre is inviting the community to their Cupcake Day open house on Saturday from 12 to 3. There'll be guided tours of the Animal Centre, cupcake-themed crafts, and a chance to decorate your own cupcake. Can't attend but still want to support? You can host your own Cupcake Day and pass the funds to the OSPCA. Find out more at cupcakeday.ca. Celebrate winter with Port Carling's Winterfest. Happening Friday to Sunday, there will be horse and wagon rides, outdoor and indoor activities, live entertainment, and food and drinks to enjoy. There's even a figure skating demonstration during the opening ceremonies Friday night. $5 for adults, and kids 12 and under are free. Get the schedule at portcarlinglions.com/winterfest. This weekend marks the 20th anniversary of the On the Pond Canada's event on Lake Muskoka. The North American Cup will use 20 man-made rinks and feature more than 100 teams in 6 divisions over 3 days. You can get more information by heading to onthepondcanada.com. And on Wednesdays, we wear pink. At least on Wednesday the 25th, when we all wear pink t-shirts as an act of solidarity to stand together against bullying. BGC North Simcoe is leading the campaign, and Say the Pink shirts help to show young people that kindness, inclusion, and belonging matter every single day. Join in and wear your pink shirt, and consider making a donation at bgcnorthsimcoe.com. And those are your weekend events for Bounce 104.1 and Pure Country 106.
That was, of course, Steph for us, but Martin must be on our minds because he and his fiancée, Flo, said their I do's on Saturday. Congratulations from all of us. Still to come here on CTV Barrie, more than 200 athletes are representing our country on the Olympic stage, but who's taking care of them? We'll see what it's like for a pair of Canadian doctors who took on that responsibility. First, though, let's head outside. Case.
So let me get this straight. A Iqaluit-like weather today with snow, freezing rain, and ice pellets, and tomorrow, Vancouver-like weather? Yeah, 4,400 kilometers to the west. Vancouver-like weather tomorrow? Our weather watcher RT says that ain't all. Blake says, my friends in Leesburg, Florida, 2,100 kilometers south, had 27 degrees and sunny today and a Sunday. Nice. You're watching CTV News Barrie.
Picture this. Brought to you by Bounce 104.1 and Pure Country 106.
Wow, what a very cool family outing. We are celebrating those that you love. Capture those photos. Picture this at ctv.ca. Casey, every time that I see this hat, I think this hat is so big, it could have gravitational capture, big enough that it could pull in moving objects around it, pull them into orbit, kind of like a planet and its moons.
Like a black hole. I've got the black hole on my head out here.
Well, that sounds ominous.
It does, doesn't it? Our forecast sounds ominous. It's all over the place. Like your weatherman, right? Let's talk about the forecast and what we have to look forward to. Warm hat tonight, no doubt about it. Yes, flakes still coming down. There is still a chance of a few flurries. This is the temperature. And yes, it is getting considerably cooler as the night amasses. Ooh, look at that, minus 11 with the wind chill. Yeah, that's some kind of cold, isn't it? Yeah, we're getting there. We're into double digits. Minus 12 in Newmarket. Minus 10 with the wind chill in Alliston. Give us one more. How about minus 9 in Owen Sound? This is a look at the almanac for today. Record 10.6 degrees in 2017. Minus 33 in 1979. That's the high, that's the low. Sunrise, sunset, 10 hours and 41 minutes of daylight. And there it goes, ladies and gentlemen. The forecast radar. There's the evening. There's tomorrow. Look at first thing in the morning. Is there some sunshine? Is it some sunshine? Well, might be a little bit of sunshine. It certainly is not snow until, well, we'll do tell as soon as we get there. Let's talk about southern tip of Georgian Bay, Lake Simcoe. Overnight temperatures minus 1, minus 3, minus 5, and minus 4 in and around Midland Penetanguishene. We still have a few wandering flurries, and there is a chance, 60% chance of some freezing drizzle before the evening is finished. Now for tomorrow, sun and cloud in Owen Sound. Lucky. Cloudy skies for the most part across the rest of the region, except in Penetanguishene Midland. You might get a little taste of sunshine, and as mentioned, 2, 3, 5 degrees. Almost Vancouver-like weather, really. Orangeville, Bradford, Georgina, Newmarket, Richmond Hill, minus 3 overnight. 60% chances of freezing drizzle. A few wandering flurries, lost flurries, if you will. And then 3 and 4 degrees for tomorrow under cloudy skies, 2 degrees in Richmond Hill. Let's go to Parry Sound, Huntsville, Bracebridge, Gravenhurst, Halliburton, minus 3, minus 5, minus 4 in Huntsville. And it looks like snow, 5 centimeters of snow still to come down in the Parry Sound area, about 10 in the Bracebridge, Gravenhurst area, and 2 to 4 in the Halliburton region. Now for tomorrow, 5 degrees in Parry Sound. It looks like 3s and 2s everywhere else, and cloudy skies, so you're going to get a little snippet of sunshine, it looks like, in Parry Sound. Lucky. That's tonight and tomorrow. Now time for the Diamond and Diamond Lawyers 5-day extended forecast. And here we go. So mild on Thursday. Friday, well, yeah, it's not exactly bitterly cold, but nevertheless looks like we're going to get a little bit of snow moving into our region. Certainly look that way too. It's supported by the forecast radar. Saturday looks like 40% chance of flurry activity and 1 degree. Minus 2, we're dipping. Sunday, cloudy, slight chance of a few flurries. And then Monday, sun and cloud, minus 4. Look at that overnight, minus 18. York region, 5-day extended forecast. Snow-rain combination on Friday, 1 degree for the high. Saturday at this point looks like a 40% chance of a few flurries kicking around. Sunday at this point, slight chance of a few flurries, minus 1, and we're starting to slide Monday, sun, cloud, minus 3, minus 13. This is Muskoka, Parry Sound, Halliburton, and cloudy and 60% chance of snow on the on Friday, leading into the weekend, 1 degree, minus 1, so we're just below the freezing mark on Saturday, and a 40% chance of a few flurries. Cloudy skies on Sunday. We're getting cooler, and look at Monday, sunny skies, which is always lovely, minus 5 and minus 21, which is some kind of cold. So we're up, we're down, we're all over the place. It's winter, but Sarah, it's moving into late February, so we're getting closer to March. Days getting longer. It makes me happy. Back inside.
Let's talk about the Olympics once again. CTV's Heather Butts caught up with a pair of doctors who are in Milano Cortina with our nation's hockey teams.
This Calgary couple hasn't spent much time together in Italy, and they're perfectly okay with that. This trip is about the two doctors supporting Canadian athletes.
It's a privilege. It's an honor. It's great that they put their
trusting us to do the jobs.
Yeah. Ian Auld is the lead physician for the men's hockey team. His wife, Laura Benyon, the lead physician for the women's team. They've both spent decades working with professional athletes, but this is their first time joining Team Canada at the Olympics.
The women's team has a special culture, and I really appreciate that. It's made the whole experience really rewarding and valuable.
An experience they take to heart as an integral part of Team Canada.
There's a lot of pride with representing Canada, for sure.
Although we're not on the ice, and we know we're a support for the athletes, and we do the best that we can for them.
207 athletes are representing Canada at these games, backed by a team of more than 230 coaches and support staff, all who face unique challenges.
Right off the bat, we got hit with norovirus. Our team didn't get hit with norovirus, but our first opponent, Finland, couldn't play. So right away, we're rescheduling a game at the Olympics, which is unheard of, and having to figure out what our own risk is as a team.
Relying on their medical backgrounds and each other to help keep everyone in the game.
We've been leaning on each other for questions and issues and bouncing things off each other. We both, I think, bring different, skill sets into this job.
Auld was part of the Four Nations win, but says the pressure here is more intense. This is the Olympics.
You can see it in our players. This is a big one for them. This is what they've been dreaming of for a long time.
As the doctors focus their time and energy on athletes, they too have a team behind them with their daughter and family members here in Italy to support them. Heather Butts, CTV News, Milan, Italy.
Still to come, returning to a fan favorite. This classic Canadian contest is just days away from starting, and the fun of the win has been turned up, literally. We'll explain next on CTV Barrie. Recapping our top stories, 20-year-old Mackenzie Harrod has taken a plea deal ahead of trial, admitting to being accessory after the fact murder for her role following the death of her former boyfriend, 25-year-old Kyle Farrows, at his Aurelia apartment more than 2 years ago. Conflicting opinions on how the town of Collingwood should fix its lack of parking in historic downtown. A motion has been put to council to eliminate patios along sidewalks, which would make room for an additional 14 parking spots affecting 6 businesses. And communities right across our region are seeing snow again after a couple of days of spring-like weather. Drivers are being reminded that the roads are not only snow-covered, but slippery in many spots. Well, it may very well be cold here, but just south of the border, our boys of the summer, the Toronto Blue Jays, are practicing under the Florida sun. CTV's Sean Leathong brings us more on how the Jays are livening up the city.
Mardi Gras in Dunedin, Florida. The small town of 38,000 celebrating, and while the beads are flying, the parade passes by TD Park, and it isn't hard to find Blue Jays fans.
What do the Jays mean to Dunedin?
A lot. You're the best.
We love the Jays. This is Blue Jay country down here.
Bowser's, located just up the road from the ballpark, styles themselves as a Blue Jays bar.
It puts Bowser's on the map.
And while Mardi Gras brings out the crowds, owner Janet Bostert has noticed something different about Canadian visitors.
A lot of our Canadians, I call them our Canadians, that come down to visit us, they're not staying as long.
While support for the Blue Jays can be seen on the homes and in the shop windows of Dunedin, a recent report from visitflorida.org shows 15% fewer Canadians came to Florida through the first 3 quarters of 2025. So what's happening here?
They're family to us, so we don't feel it in that way.
The Blue Jays have been in Dunedin for their entire 50-year history, the only major league team to do so. Local Mayor Mo Freeney says the team adds an estimated $200 million to the area economy, and this year Jays ticket sales are up.
When the season's on, everybody's walking around town and filling the restaurants and shopping in the shops.
Even inside Blue Jays spring training, as fans gather from Toronto and elsewhere, the players feel the warmth from this community.
Just driving through and seeing everyone's kind of Vladdy's face and George's face, not my face, but everyone else's face up on the board. It's awesome. And walking downtown, it's such a great town to kind of walk and see all the Blue Jays fans out there.
When you get closer to the ballpark, you see all the Blue Jays and all the Blue Jays logo, and the people feels really familiar with the team, and we obviously feel that.
Helping the players feel a bit of the support they get at home, while they prepare for the season. And
it's a lot warmer than Canada right now, I'll tell you that.
Vice President of Florida Operations for the Blue Jays, Shelby Nelson, says Blue Jays fandom here lasts longer than the spring.
It's really, really strong. I mean, we had some watch parties during the World Series, and they were packed.
The club opened up TD Ballpark during the playoffs, hosting 10 watch parties through the World Series. And this past Saturday, they welcomed the Jays back with their annual golf cart parade.
So we're going to be rooting them on. We want it all.
A partnership rooted in support for the team and each other. In Dunedin, Sean Leathong, CTV News.
Turning to our markets now, let's take a look at those numbers as we reach the end of the day. The TSX was up 493 points, the Dow was up 129, and the NASDAQ was up 175, and commodities oil was up, closing at $65.05 a barrel. Gold was up, finishing at $5,009 an ounce, and our dollar down, ending the day at 73.11 cents US. Timmy's lovers will soon have something more to look forward to when getting their daily cup of joe. That's because the iconic Roll Up the Rim to Win contest, it's coming back and it's here to stay. It will begin on February 23rd, marking its 40th anniversary, and it will feature physical contest cups as opposed to the digital-only format that was introduced back in 2020. If you are a fan of the Beatles, don't go anywhere. Next on CTV News Barrie, snapshots of the boys as the band blew up and where they can be seen not too far from us. Time now to take a look at your Wednesday night primetime lineup. The Rookie is at 8 and 9 p.m., followed by Criminal Minds at 10 and CTV News Barrie at 11. Fans of the Beatles are getting a rare behind-the-scenes look at rock history. CTV's Jessica Smith brings us a preview of photos that were taken by Paul McCartney himself.
A behind-the-scenes look at a band that helped shape a generation.
The photographs are really great pictures unto themselves, and then they tell an important story that no one else really could have told except one of the Beatles.
A new exhibition at the Art Gallery of Ontario titled Paul McCartney Photographs 1963 to 64 Eyes of the Storm is making its Canadian debut, giving people a never-before-seen look at more than 250 photos taken by Paul McCartney himself.
He spoke of it as, you know, for him it was a way of capturing something that he didn't know how long it would last. I mean, decades later, we know it's long-lasting.
Each picture a candid look at the iconic band's early days on their journey to global stardom.
It's 3 months. It's the end of 1963 into like the beginning of 1964, so it's a very short period, and it's that moment when the Beatles become the Beatles, like it's that Beatlemania.
Giving a rare look into the lives of Paul McCartney, John Lennon, George Harrison, and Ringo Starr.
These are like family photographs, and there's the contrast is that there are professional photographers with them, and we do show some of that.
Helping fans that span generations connect in a new way to their favorite band. The Paul McCartney Photographs 1963 to 64 Eyes of the Storm photo exhibition is now open to AGO members. It opens to the public on March 24th and runs all the way through until June 7th. Jessica Smith, CTV News.
What's your favorite Beatles song, Casey Colby?
Let It Be.
Just let it be.
Let it be, absolutely. There's no doubt. How about you?
All you need is love. It's stuck in all of our heads from the choir yesterday and over the weekend.
That's perfect. Well, they get up and go. Let's see if we have any love and they get up and go first thing tomorrow morning. Let's have a look. We're just going to have to let it be, right? -3 right across the board. Cloudy skies, Barrie, Newmarket, and of course Gravenhurst. Have yourself a wonderful evening, Sarah, and a better tomorrow back inside.
Thanks, Case, and same to everyone at home. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Sarah Freemark. Jack will be with you at 11. Good night and take care out there.